Week two of the 2022 college football season was about as chaotic as it can get, without impacting the omnipresent college football playoff forecast. No one in the AP top five bit the dust, but three top 10 teams lost, and five top 20 teams lost at home. Will week three bring more of the same, or will it be the calm before a later storm? Hello, friends, and welcome to the week three edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. Maybe awaiting the presence of Michael Bullock, but I don't know. We'll see. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll see if we get him tomorrow night for the special Friday edition of NFL Friday. But a lot of upsets last week, and it will most certainly reflect on the rankings. And with that, let's get into the slate for this week. We have 5 noon games, and we're going to start it off with the now number one team in all the land, the new number one, the team that should have been number one all along. Your reigning, defending, undisputed college football playoff national champion, Maiden Georgia Bulldogs, as they will be going on the road to Columbia, South Carolina to square off against the South Carolina Gamecocks. Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. This game will be over on ESPN, and it will be Sean McDonough along with Todd Blackledge and Molly McGrath on the call. Georgia opening up as a 24.5 point favorite. If any of these games involving top 5 teams is going to be interesting, it's this one. But it's not going to be. South Carolina does have something fun brewing with Spencer Rattler at quarterback. The former Sooner threw for 376 yards against Arkansas. The Georgia defense appears to be in a class of its own for a second consecutive season, though. And after the Bulldogs eviscerated Oregon in week 1, it's hard to expect anything less than a convincing beatdown. I got Georgia all day in this one. They'll steamroll South Carolina. 38-9. Georgia all over South Carolina. Not much more to say. MF, come on in. Georgia finally at number one, where they honestly should have been all along, considering they were the national champions a season ago.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Incredible run last year. And it took them a little bit of some time to get to number one, but it was what it was. Yes, they are truly, deserving of the number one spot. Now, Georgia, I think it's gonna handle their business. A lot of people thought that they were gonna not do anything. They dominated early, and now they're going up against South Carolina. Yes, South Carolina is gamed, but I do believe at the end of the day that Georgia should find the get the job done, and I do believe that they will once again um, prove why they are number one and the reigning national champions. I got Georgia winning. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF, when we move on to our next high noon game. And here you go, MF. It's only fitting. It's your team. The number 4 Michigan Wolverines, once again at home. Third straight week they are at. They are at in their comfy confines of the Big House, Michigan Stadium, Ann Arbor, Michigan. And they're going to be hosting another easy opponent, the UConn Huskies. This game will be on ABC. Bob Wischusen. Now, normally Dan Orlovsky works with Bob Wischusen, but Dan Orlovsky has a special assignment on Monday night, and we'll get into that tomorrow night. And because of that, Roddy Jones is going to be sitting in for Dan Orlovsky. So it'll be Bob Wischusen, Roddy Jones, and Chris Budden. And Michigan opening up as another large favorite. They were a 52-point favorite last week against Hawaii. This week against UConn, opening up as a 47.5-point favorite. So MF, 2 weeks in, 2 easy wins. I think we can obviously make it 3.
Yeah, we could easily make it 3. And I guess the big question is who's going to be the starting quarterback. Now it looks like it is going to be J.J. McCartney. It looks like he has secured the spot and that he's going to be the number 1 now. Caden McNamara is going to be the number 2. And without a doubt, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be very interesting to see JJ now running the offense. How's he going to look? He looked amazing last week. and I do believe he'll just pick up right where he left off. The defense is vaunted. They are strong. They are competitive right now. Top 10 defense, really good offense. It's a recipe for another Michigan victory. Right now, and I get it. I know a lot of people's like, yeah, but Michigan hasn't been tested yet. I get it. And I know we haven't. But I also know it's only a matter of time before we start running into the big boys. And trust me, we're game tested. I feel like this is a special season. I know a lot of people are not really thinking Michigan's going to have a high run, but the ceiling is higher. With J.J. McCartney, with Caden McNamara, with the running attack and the offense that we have going in, I think we are going to prove a lot of doubters wrong. A lot of people are like, oh, we're not going to do much with this. We're not going to do much with that. We're the reigning Big Ten champions, folks. So I kind of take a little bit of offense to some of the prognosticators, the ESPN, the Foxes, the CBSs, the NBCs, those people that are ready to crown Ohio State the best when we're the Big Ten champions. So I think Michigan's got an axe to grind. There's still people that doesn't want to give us the respect that's so richly deserved. So I think it's time that we take out another team and start to put some respect on the name of Michigan Wolverines. So nothing more to say. Michigan wins. Anthony, it's yours.
Since October 2017, UConn is 1-38. Listen to that, 1-38 against FBS opponents. And Michigan won its first 2 games this season by more than 40 points. It's not an exaggeration to say that this would be the most embarrassing loss in Wolverines history. We know it already is, and we're not going to remind you of it. So, Michigan easy win, 56-6. Michigan all over UConn. So, there isn't much more to say on that. Next up, a renewal of one of the great rivalries in the history of college football. As part of Big Noon Saturday on Fox, the number 6 Oklahoma Sooners on the road against the Nebraska Cornhuskers at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. Big Noon Saturday on Fox. We know who's working this as always. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, the All-American girl Jenny Taft. Oklahoma opening up as an 11-point favorite. All right. Remember when Nebraska fired Bo Pelini because it was tired of going 9-4 every season, and then things immediately got so much worse? Well, expect a similar version of that. The Cornhuskers fired Scott Frost because they were fed up with watching him lose close games. He was 0-11 in contests decided by single digits since the start of last season, and a home loss to Georgia Southern was the last straw. And at least in the first game of the post-Frost era, Nebraska won't lose by single digits. Rather, Oklahoma is going to put a hurting on this terrible defense. It won't quite match the 56-14 drubbings the Huskers took at home from Ohio State and Iowa in 2017, but it won't be a nail-biter either. Oklahoma all over Nebraska, 49-24. Oklahoma takes care of Nebraska. So not much more to say here. MF, Nebraska, what a mess. Scott Frost fired. But then again, you lose at home to Georgia Southern. Yeah, that's going to do it. So, MF, it's yours. I got Oklahoma all over Nebraska, 49-24. So, all right, I don't know where MF is. Waiting for him to come to get in here. And, it's one of the great rivalries in the history of the game. Think about it. It's, it was one of the great conference rivalries of all time. It was one of the biggest games of the year. And, the late, great Keith Jackson called so many of those games on ABC during the yesteryear and the whole nine. You think of all the names that have been in there, players and coaches, and it's obviously lost the luster because of, Nebraska's struggles and Oklahoma's dominance recently. And while we wait for MF, I do want to update you all on Thursday Night Football right now on Amazon Prime Video. The Kansas City Chiefs leading the Los Angeles Chargers 24-17. With about under 5.5 minutes to go in regulation. The Chargers have the ball. It's 3rd and 2, and we'll as we wait for MF to join us here. Um, Chargers in their own. Okay, there's MF. All right. Herbert to throw, and that is caught for a first down. It is Gerald Everett, the former Ram tight end, now with the Chargers. And oh boy, Justin Herbert's down. Justin Herbert is down. This is not good. So while we wait for that, MF, as you come on in, I already gave my thought and my prediction about Oklahoma and Nebraska, which is our next game here. I have Oklahoma decimating Nebraska once again. I got them winning big, 49-24, as Nebraska begins life after Scott Frost, after he was fired after they got embarrassed at home by Georgia Southern.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to say. I mean, it's going to be an interesting matchup here. The way I feel about this game is that, look, I kind of feel like this is one of those interesting moments, you know? Um, we're talking about Oklahoma and Nebraska, right?
Yes.
All right. Because of the fact that Scott Frost got fired, there was a lot of shock and everything going on. And you got Oklahoma that's just picking up right where they left off. Not the most convincing victories with the 33-3 over Kent State. I think a lot of people felt like they could have gone more. That could have been a bigger beatdown, but they beat UTEP, they beat Kent State. Now they got Nebraska. And this was one of the big rivalries back in the day in the Big 12. But now with everything going on, I feel like this is meant to be. So I got Oklahoma winning and nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF. We move on to our next matchup, the fourth of our 5 noon games. Listen to this. You're not going to believe who's now coming in at number 9. The Kentucky Wildcats. That's right. I said the number 9 Kentucky Wildcats back at home at Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky. And they will be hosting the Penguins of Youngstown State. This game will be on the SEC Network. We have Dave Neal, Deuce McAllister, and Andrea Carter on the call. I do not have a spread for this game because you have to imagine Kentucky's got to be a very sizable favorite here.
Yeah, it's a no line actually, Anthony.
No line. Yeah, no line. So so there isn't much more to say. MF, Kentucky. They did something we didn't think they were going to do. They went into the swamp on a Saturday night against Florida. Very, very tough to win. But somehow, some way, Kentucky stole one. And now Kentucky, number 9?
Yeah.
In football? I thought this was basketball. Football?
And that's
number
the
9?
thing. Honestly, we all would have thought the same thing. We all feel the same way. We all thought that, wait a minute, this can't be right. This can't be right at all. How on earth can this happen? But no, this is reality. Welcome to the real world, guys. This is the moment that they were waiting for. This was the moment that we were thinking about, and all of a sudden, here it is. Kentucky is number 9. For the shock and awe and everything else that happened in the game, yeah, this is what we're looking at. And at the end, we got to see how it plays out. But Kentucky deserves to be where they're at, top 10 team. And now we just got to see how it plays out. So there's really nothing more to add. I got Kentucky winning this game. I think they're going to continue the hot streak, and that's it. Nothing more to say. So, Anthony, it's yours.
I gotta tell you, as I'm watching Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime Video, I just want to let you know Justin Herbert is okay. Justin Herbert's okay. So It looked very dicey, but he is
He
okay.
probably
But
got
he's
the
taking a
wind knocked
pounding.
out of him. That's why he was down.
Yeah, yeah, he did, and I mean he's taking a pounding right now. But yet he's still in there, and he's giving it his all. So mad respect for Justin Herbert here tonight. So they have it at a 3rd and 6. Throws downfield, and nearly picked off again, which was the turning point of that game. So now 4th and 6 with 4:06 to go. You imagine they got it. They have to go for it here, or else this is going to be an open and shut game here. So, all right. As far as Kentucky is concerned, like I was saying, when you hear Kentucky at number 9, you're thinking, oh, this is what you guys are talking about basketball, right? Oh no, we're talking football. Kentucky number 9 in football. Amazing. Kentucky got quite the scare from FCS program Chattanooga 1 year ago, eking out a 28-23 win. In the past decade, however, the Wildcats have 6 wins against FCS opponents by 31 points or more, and this one might fall into that category. If it doesn't, it'll be because the running game was awful yet again. Kentucky rushed 64 times for 120 yards against Miami of Ohio and Florida, and ranks 127th in the nation in yards per carry. That ground game got rolling in the second half against the Gators, though, and I expect the floodgates will open while the defense tries to pitch its first shutout since 2009. I got Kentucky winning this one, but I don't think they're going to get a shutout. But it will be an easy win, though. 38-7, Kentucky all over Youngstown State. So not much more to say there. Final high noon game, and it features the number 17. Oh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But it looks like a flag is down. That's going to be coming back very likely. So, all right, never mind. Number 17, Baylor Bears at home at McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas, hosting the Bobcats of Texas State. This game will be over on FS1. Eric Collins and Devin Gardner on the call. Baylor opening up as a 30-point favorite. And, yeah, it's going to be Baylor. After coming up just short in double overtime at BYU, Baylor shouldn't need to work too hard to get this win. Texas State had 25 carries for 1 yard in its season opener against Nevada, and it is already evident that the Bears have a solid front seven. Maybe the Lane Hatcher to Ashton Hawkins connection will burn Baylor once or twice, but the Bobcats won't score enough to make this interesting. Easy win for Baylor, 38-10. I got Baylor all over Texas State, so not much more to say here. MF, I wouldn't want to be Texas State facing this Baylor team after coming off a very tough loss against BYU, and what, no surprise, ended up being a 5-star Shakespearean drama classic, as Baylor came up just a little bit short at BYU in double overtime last week. So not much more to say. So the Chargers punted. So the Chiefs have the ball now. So that's what I have right now. So far from over. But anywho, I got Baylor winning 38-10. So MF, if you're ready, Baylor should be an easy. They should bounce back with an easy win over Texas State after that demoralizing tough loss to BYU.
Yeah, I do agree with that as well. I think it's going to be a demoralizing situation, but there's really nothing more to say here. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch more than anything else. So I do believe Baylor is going to win the game. There's really nothing more to add. Um, Whoa, big play for Kansas City. Well, uh, yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So Baylor wins, Anthony. It looks like Kansas City's about to put the nail in the coffin on this one.
Yeah, it looks like they are. So with that being said, let's move on now to the 3:30 kickoffs. Now we have 3 of them, and we start off. Speaking of BYU, with one of our games of the week right here. The number 25 BYU Cougars on the road against the now back in the poll number 25 Oregon Ducks. Autzen Stadium, Eugene, Oregon. This game will be over on Fox, and on the call for that one will be Jason Benetti, Brock Heward, and Allison Williams. And Oregon opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. MF BYU moving up to number 12 after that exciting win over Baylor. And Oregon back in the poll at number 25 after they got embarrassed by Georgia 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and the thing was that the now the question becomes, have we seen the real Georgia? Like, I mean, have we seen the real Oregon? Are they still kind of lost in the shuffle because of what happened? Are they still looking at what they need to do? How what are we gonna get? What type of situation are we gonna see? And then with BYU, you're thinking, if you're BYU, you're thinking, hey, we're playing with the house money here. We got an opportunity to really make a statement here and really start to turn a lot of things around. But the thing is that if you're BYU, you're down two receivers because two guys are hurt and they're both questionable, so you don't know what's going to happen with them. And Oregon, I kind of felt like they rode the ship. So this is a tough matchup, but being at home in Eugene, I don't know. I don't think BYU's ready for this big moment. And plus, they barely scraped through over Baylor. Like just barely. So you barely get by Baylor in a double overtime where, relatively speaking, you probably should have lost that game. I think their luck is about to run out. I think Oregon is about to reestablish themselves and show the country that they are a powerhouse team. So for me, I'm gonna call it and I'm going for it. I'm going Oregon for the upset. I think they knock off BYU and reestablish themselves as a powerhouse team in this in the NCAA. So Oregon wins. Anthony, it's yours.
And I have an update from Thursday Night Football. The Chiefs have kicked a field goal, a 32-yard field goal. So 27-17, Kansas City leading the Chargers, and they had to get a replacement kicker, Matt Amendola, who previously kicked for the Jets, in place of the injured Harrison Butker, their franchise kicker. But this might be a 1 week only thing. We'll have to wait and see. But 3:20 to go, and the Chargers will be starting right around the 20-30 area. So keep an eye on that. But for right now, out of all the games on the schedule this week, I got to be honest with you all, this is the toughest one to call. Oregon did not do so well in its last game as a ranked opponent, as it was blown out of the water by Georgia in week 1. Struggling on offense against the Bulldogs was to be expected, but giving up 439 passing yards and 7 touchdowns on defense was not part of the plan when Dan Lanning was hired. The Ducks did bounce back with a 70-14 beatdown over Eastern Washington, but that didn't erase the troubles of the first game. BYU has looked mighty good, even beating Baylor last week without key receivers Puka Nakua and Gunnar Romney. It's unclear whether either will be available, but I'd feel much more confident with BYU if they do suit up. But I'm honestly tempted to go with BYU here. I really am. But considering this game is in Eugene, Oregon, and with how tough it is to win there, I'll take a chance and go with Oregon. I'll say Oregon wins 34-27. But if BYU were to win, I would not at all be surprised. I wouldn't. So we're not going to say much more on that. So moving on to our next 3:30 game, we have the number 20 Ole Miss Rebels on the road, and they'll be squaring off against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And just give me one moment here. This game will be at the Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, and this game will be over on ABC. ABC will have this one, and on the call for that one will be Dave Patch with Dusty Dvoracek and Tom Luganbill, and Ole Miss opening up as a 16.5 point favorite. find it here. All right, here we go. While everyone marveled at USC's transfer portal all-star team, Lane Kiffin built another one of his own at Ole Miss. Former Trojans quarterback Jackson Dart and tight end Michael Trigg have forged quite the connection in Oxford, while former TCU running back Zach Evans and former SMU running back Ulysses Bentley IV are also making their presences felt. And well, Georgia Tech has looked like a team that's understandably struggling to replace its three biggest playmakers, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jordan Mason, and Kyrick McGowan. That doesn't bode well since the Ole Miss defense has allowed just one touchdown. I got Ole Miss winning this one rather handily. Ole Miss wins, I say 38-13. Ole Miss takes care of Georgia Tech. So not much more to not much more to say, MF. Number 20, Ole Miss on the road at Georgia Tech. And the Chargers have it first and goal. They went for it on 4th and 1. Herbert with a bomb. He got it. It's a first and goal situation. 2-minute warning. The Chargers are driving. So they got a chance to make it interesting once again as Herbert with a bomb. Look at this. Look at this bomb here. Herbert to Mike Williams. Wow, what a... Man, that was a dart. Whew. First and goal for the Chargers after the 2-minute warning. So, MF, if you're ready, number 20 Ole Miss on the road at Georgia Tech. I have Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss winning this one 38-13.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think it's pretty safe to say that Ole Miss should win this game. It's not going to be an easy one, but I do believe Ole Miss will get the job done. So yes, I do agree. Ole Miss wins it, and Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF, here we go. One of our favorites, the return of the SEC on CBS, and this is a very unique circumstance in this case. The SEC team is not ranked. It's not even an all SEC matchup. It's an SEC versus Big Ten matchup. And the Big Ten team is ranked. The now number 22 Penn State Nittany Lions on the road against the Auburn Tigers at Jordan Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. The SEC on CBS. Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson, they're still your men. But we have a new sideline reporter. Jamie Erdahl out, Jenny Dell in. So it's Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Jenny Dell that are going to be working this game. And Penn State opening up as only a 3-point favorite. I do believe that's the smallest spread of all our games this week. But MF, a very unique way to start off the SEC on CBS. Auburn squaring off against the now number 22 Penn State Nittany Lions in our sleeper game of the week.
Yeah, sleeper game of the week, no doubt about it. It's going to be an interesting matchup to say the very least. The way I kind of feel this game's going to go, I kind of feel like, yeah, Penn State is definitely, they barely escaped the first couple of games. Auburn so far has done pretty well. They almost got themselves upset at themselves last week as they almost got caught. By the San Jose State. And of course, everybody knows Penn State had that incredible first game, come from behind win over Purdue 35-31. Then a dominating performance in week 2 over Ohio. This is going to be one of their tougher tests. This will be one of their toughest tests in the month. I kind of feel like at the end of the day, this is going to be an interesting matchup. A great game to say the very least. And when it's all said and done, I predict that it will be Penn State walking out with the big victory. So I got the Nittany Lions staying undefeated, 3-0. And then Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. 1 year ago in State College, this game was awesome. The Auburn ground game asserted its will against a solid Penn State front seven. But Nittany Lions quarterback Sean Clifford was darn near perfect in orchestrating a 28-20 win. The change in venue is maybe worth a few points in the Tigers' favor, but it won't alter the fact that they are in dire straits at quarterback. TJ Finley and Robbie Ashford have combined to throw for 1 touchdown with 4 interceptions. And without much fear of getting beat over the top, Penn State can focus on stopping Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter and escaping with a W. I got Penn State winning this one as well, MF. I think they'll steal one in Jordan Hare. 24-21, I got Penn State winning. And an update from Thursday Night Football, the Chargers are right back in it. Justin Herbert to Joshua Palmer for the touchdown. And with 1:11 to go, 27-24, Kansas City. The Chiefs have all 3 of their timeouts. The Chargers with only 1 timeout left. You know, there's no question about it. They're going to be going for they're going to be setting up for an onside kick here. So if they get it, we got something going here. But if they don't get it, then this will obviously be game over in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. So onside coming. Whoa, ball's loose. Hold on. I think the Chiefs have it though. I think the Chiefs jumped on it.
I think Kansas. Yep. I think it's Kansas City's.
Yep. Yeah, Kansas City ball. Yep. Yeah, they got it. It was Gray from Kansas City. But this was very dicey. This was very close. It looked like it was going to be an easy one for KC, but they fumbled it. But 83, right there, dove on it. Chiefs take over, and that should just about do it here. It looks like the Kansas City Chiefs are going to hang on for a 27-24 win. The Chargers only have 1 timeout left and 1:09 to go. So it looks like the victory formation. Yep. And you will. And the Chargers aren't even going to bother. So I think that's going to do it. I think that's it. The Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Los Angeles Chargers 27-24 here tonight. And Chiefs go to 2-0. Chargers drop to 1-1. And we will, get more into that tomorrow night for our special edition of NFL Friday. But all right, let's move on. Move on now to a 4:00 game. We have a 4:00 game on our docket, only one. All right, and now it's official. KC wins. All right, game over. Kansas City wins 27-24. It's now official. So, all right. The now number two Alabama Crimson Tide, back at home at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. They're going to be hosting the Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe on the SEC Network. It'll be Taylor Zarzar, Matt Stinchcomb, and Coley Harvey on the call. Alabama opening up as a 49.5-point favorite here. No surprise, to say the least. And this will literally be next victim right here. I mean, there is not much worse than facing Alabama the week after it gets humbled. In last year's close call against Florida, the Crimson Tide pummeled Southern Miss by 49. After the loss to Texas A&M, they whooped Mississippi State by 40. There are plenty of other examples like that over the past dozen years, as this team pretty much never has back-to-back subpar performances. And even if Alabama had destroyed Texas last week, Louisiana Monroe was never going to be a trap. The Tide will just be even more focused on not making mistakes against the team they were already going to pummel. This one has Bryce Young throws 5 touchdowns before halftime and gets the rest of the afternoon off written all over it. Bama rolls, next victim, 63-7. Bama all over Louisiana Monroe. Not much more to say. MF, I mean, give credit to Texas, man. Texas hung with Alabama, gave them a hell of a try. But as Bama has always done over the years, they always found a way to win, and boy, howdy, they did it again.
They needed to, man, because, oh my goodness, if Texas would have pulled it off, and I thought they had them. You got to give a lot of credit and a lot of love to the Texas Longhorns, man. You know what? I apologize, Texas. We were thinking next victim, and you and Bebo and them boys, man. You guys gave it a hell of a college try, man. That was without a doubt one of the best performances I've ever seen. And you almost did it. Almost pulled it off. Big win for you guys. Absolutely incredible performance by Alabama for holding on for dear life when they did. There's really nothing more to add. This was a great game, and now, yeah, like you said, Bama going in next week, very angry, very ticked off, wondering, because like you said, they got humbled. And normally when a team gets humbled like that, they come out more fired, more electric than ever before. And I do believe that's going to be the outcome. So I agree with what you just said. I do believe Bama should easily win the game and win it going away. So there's really nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. Moving on to our next matchup here. Um, it's not often we get a 5 o'clock kickoff, but we have one in this case. A rare 5 o'clock kickoff, as it will feature the number 19 Wake Forest Demon Deacons, and they will be at home at Truist Field in Winston Salem, North Carolina, and they're going to be hosting the Liberty Flames. And this game can be seen on the ACC network with Mike Corey, Forrest Connolly, and Marilyn Payne. Wake Forest opening up as a 16.5 point favorite. Michael Bullock has just joined us. We'll catch him up in a little bit. But for right now, MF, Wake Forest, I don't know if this is their home opener or not. It might be. But Wake Forest at home against Liberty, favored by 16.5.
Anthony, no, it's not their home opener. They actually faced off against VMI in week one. That was their home
Oh,
opener
that's right.
last week. Last
They're,
week
they're
they
back
went
at
up
home
against
after being on the road
Vanderbilt.
last week.
Yep, they went on to Vanderbilt last week. And the thing is, here's the thing. I hope they don't look past Liberty. It's very enticing because of who they got next. It's Clemson at home. So I believe they're going to be geared up. They're going to be fine. They'll win this game because Anthony, they got Clemson, then they got Florida State in back-to-back weeks. That is where we're going to find out about the Demon Deacons. We're about to find out if this team is for real or not in the next few weeks. They'll beat Liberty, but then after that, I guess we'll see where the chips fall where they may, as they like to say. So Anthony, it's yours.
All right, Michael Bullock, come on in. We're gonna get you caught up on the games we've done. Trying to see how many we've done so far. I believe we've done like 9. I think we've done like 9 or 10 games already, including the one we're doing now. So, all right, Bullock, let me get you caught up here. Rapid fire, if you don't mind.
Oh, I will.
Okay. Number 1, Georgia at South Carolina.
Oh, it's Georgia Bulldogs all day.
Number 4, Michigan at home against UConn.
Yeah, I got the Michigan Wolverines over UConn.
Number 6, Oklahoma at Nebraska, renewing that once great rivalry.
Yeah, I got Oklahoma winning this one.
Number 9, Kentucky at home against Youngstown State.
I got Kentucky winning this one.
Number 17, Baylor at home against Texas State.
I got Baylor winning this one.
Now this is the toughest one to call right here. Number 12, BYU at number 25, Oregon.
Oh man, that's a tough one here. This could go either way, but I gotta go with BYU. But I would not be surprised if Oregon pulls off the upset.
Fair enough. Let's see. Number 20, Ole Miss at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I got Ole Miss winning this one.
The season premiere of the SEC on CBS. Number 22, Penn State at Auburn.
Yeah, I got Penn State winning this one.
Number 2, Alabama at home against Louisiana Monroe.
Roll Tide roll, baby.
And the game that we're talking about right now, all right, you're caught up on all the other games, and now your thoughts on the game that MF started. Number 19, Wake Forest at home against Liberty.
Yeah, I got Wake Forest winning this one, but I certainly hope they don't look past Liberty.
Yeah, exactly. Because Liberty's been was a darling some time ago. But all right, Bullock, you're all caught up, so I'll take it here. I'll take it from here now. All right, the return of Sam Hartman was real and it was spectacular. The Demon Deacons quarterback missed week 1 after having a blood clot surgically removed in early August, but he lit up Vanderbilt for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in a 45-25 win. We had to temper expectations for Wake Forest when it was announced in the preseason that he would be out indefinitely, but it seems like it's time to start thinking about this as one of the nation's top offenses again. To Liberty's credit, it moved the ball against Southern Miss and UAB in its first 2 games of life after Malik Willis, but the Flames won't be able to keep pace. I got Wake Forest winning this one. My final score 45-27, Wake Forest over Liberty. So, all right, everybody's all caught up. So let's move on now to the primetime games. And we got quite a few. We got 5 7 o'clock games here to continue on with. And Michael Bullock will start off on this next matchup as we kick off the primetime slate. The number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes once again at home at Ohio Stadium in the Horseshoe in Columbus. And they're going to be hosting the Rockets of Toledo. This game will be over on Fox. And on the call for that one will be Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman. Ohio State opening up as a 32-point favorite. Michael Bullock, easy win for Ohio State here.
Oh yeah, this is definitely an easy one. It's all Ohio State in this one, so it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. I just got to find it here. All right, here we go. 3 cheers for Toledo for outscoring its first 2 opponents by a combined 82 points. But after making mincemeat out of Long Island and UMass, the Rockets are about to increase the difficulty level. Ohio State has allowed just 1 touchdown, and it is going to cause all sorts of problems for what, credit where it's due, has been a solid running game since 2011. There are not players like Michael Hall Jr., Zach Harrison, and Tommy Eichenberg in the MAC. Nor does Toledo have to figure out how to stop the likes of C.J. Stroud, Travion Henderson, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Easy win for Ohio State. 45-10, Ohio State all over Toledo. MF, make it unanimous.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I totally agree with everything you guys say. Ohio State should win this one pretty handily. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, next up, it is the number 8 Oklahoma State Cowboys back at once again at home at Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma. They're going to be hosting the Golden Lions of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and this will be over on ESPN Plus. Pete Souza and Chad Brown will be on the call. No spread, no line, obviously. So, all right, let's see. Arkansas Pine Bluff has played 7 games against FBS opponents in the past decade. The cumulative score was 366 to 36, and not one of those games was against a top 25 opponent. Translation, the margin of victory here is whatever Oklahoma State wants it to be. I'm guessing Mike Gundy will wait until the 8th touchdown to pump the brakes. Easy win for Oklahoma State. 59-6. Oklahoma State all over Arkansas Pine Bluff. MF.
Yeah, agreed. There's really not much to add, so Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, Arkansas wins this one all day, so it's yours.
You mean Oklahoma State? They're playing Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Oklahoma State, yeah.
Jumping a little ahead of the gun there, Bullock. We got Arkansas still to come. We got
Arkansas long day for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm right there with you. But anywho, we're all good here. So, all right, let's move on to the next game from the 7 o'clock window. Let's see what we got. MF will start it off as it will be the now number 15 Tennessee Volunteers back at their home at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, hosting the Zips of Akron. This game will also be on ESPN Plus. Drew Carter, Aaron Murray, and Ashley Stroline on the call, and Tennessee opening up as a 47.5-point favorite. MF, biggest win for Tennessee, and how long has it been since Tennessee has come away with a monumental win like the one they stole in Pittsburgh last week.
I kind of feel like it has to. You got to go all the way back to maybe the T. Martin days, or even when Peyton Manning was the starting quarterback of Tennessee. To just to talk about. Actually, no. Um, you know what? I think it was actually. I'll even go even more recent than that. Maybe when John Dobson was the starting quarterback for Tennessee, and when they knocked off Florida. There was that big game against Florida where they had the streak and everything else and blah 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 blah. And I kind of feel like that might be the outcome. So I think this is the most important. This has been one of the most important teams that we've had in a number of years. But I think that's all that we will say right now. So yeah, I'll go with that, and I'll say Tennessee
Sorry
wins.
to sorry to interrupt. I had the wrong number here.
Hmm?
We're gonna put the Tennessee game on the burner for the moment. I got caught up here. It, this is actually the Arkansas game now. The number 10 Arkansas Razor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went in the wrong number order in the 7 window. I thought they were in the 7:30 window. It's the 7 window. So we'll get to the Tennessee game in a moment. But it's now number 10, the number 10 Arkansas Razorbacks at home at Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. They're going to be hosting the Bears of Missouri State. ESPN Plus. This game will also be on that. Jay Alter with Brian Kinchin and Tara Talmadge on the call. There's no spread, obviously no line. All right, MF. Sorry about that. Arkansas number 10 at home against Missouri State.
All right, that's fine, no problem. Now I gotta re look at my notes here. I was not prepared for that, but
Yeah, that was
I'll
my bad.
say no. That's okay. That's okay. But either way, it didn't matter what team it was or what was gonna happen. The seeded teams were gonna win this game. These are easy matchups. So for me, I'm gonna go with Arkansas regardless. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you then.
Yeah, I got Arkansas winning this one as well. So it's yours, Florio.
Arkansas is probably going to destroy this FCS foe, but after it allowed Cincinnati and South Carolina to throw for a combined 702 yards, I will say watch out for Jason Shelley. The mobile quarterback never made much of an impact with Utah or Utah State, but he has thrown for at least 225 yards in 14 consecutive games since landing at Missouri State while also rushing for 11 touchdowns. The Hogs should score pretty much at will, though, and their pass rush figures to cause all sorts of problems for the Bears' offensive line. Arkansas wins handily, 52-17. Arkansas all over Missouri State. Now it's number 15, Tennessee at home again. Tennessee Volunteers at home against the Zips of Akron. ESPN Plus once again. Drew Carter, Aaron Murray, and Ashley Stroline on the call. Tennessee a 47.5-point favorite. Bullock should be an easy win for Tennessee at home at Neyland Stadium against Akron.
Yeah, this definitely should be an easy win for Tennessee here. So I got Tennessee winning, so it's yours.
Yeah. Let me see. Even in a week wherein Michigan will host lowly UConn and Louisiana Monroe has to face frustrated Alabama, this figures to be the most merciless blowout on the docket. Akron just lost 52-0 to Michigan State. Last year against Power 5 opponents, the Zips lost by 52 to Ohio State and by 50 to Auburn. They are 0-27 all time against ranked opponents and have lost each of the last 7 of those games by at least 38 points. And Tennessee can score in bunches. Just ask Pittsburgh. 59-3, Tennessee all over Akron. MF, I'm sure you're going with Tennessee as well.
Agreed.
All right. Apologies once again on that little botcheroo there. All right, so we're all good here now. All right. I think this is the final 7 o'clock game. Yes, it is. All right, now we're in the correct order here. Number 16, North Carolina State Wolfpack. Ooh, they got a tough opponent. They got the Red Raiders of Texas Tech coming in. Carter Finley Stadium, Raleigh, North Carolina. ESPN2 will have the game. And on that call will be Anish Shroff, Brock Osweiler, and Taylor McGregor. NC State opening up as a 10-point favorite. So keep that in mind, guys. I didn't think before the season that this would be in the running for Game of the Week, but it's up there. But after NC State barely survived its opener against East Carolina and Texas Tech pulled off an impressive double overtime victory over Houston, here we are. Under first-year head coach Joey McGuire, the Red Raiders have gotten back to what they used to do best. Throw, and throw some more. With 411 and a half passing yards a game, they lead the nation despite having lost starting quarterback Tyler Show to a shoulder injury in the second quarter of Week 1. Against a mighty fine Wolfpack secondary, though, Texas Tech could run into some trouble. And while NC State quarterback Devin Leary had an uncharacteristically poor performance against ECU, he accounted for 6 touchdowns last week against Charleston Southern and may have found the mojo necessary to make this a comfortable win. I got NC State winning this one. My final score, 35-23, NC State over Texas Tech. So not much more to say here. MF, NC State getting back to basics, a get-right game against the Charleston Southern. But give it up for Texas Tech, man. Texas Tech taking down Houston last week. So MF, your thoughts on Texas Tech and NC State?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting matchup. I kind of feel like going into this, I think there's a really sense of uncertainty coming into this. I mean, Texas Tech, survived over Houston. They knocked off the Cougars. Cougars were living a little dangerously, and it finally caught up to bite them. Of course, they almost lost against the Roadrunners of UTSA, and then the Red Raiders of Texas Tech got them, and they finally caught them and nipped them. So but for Texas Tech, not an easy game either, because going up against NC State, North Carolina State, also 2-0. And the thing is with them, they dominated the first game, almost got nipped in the first game of the season. In Week 1, they almost got nipped by East Carolina. So, both teams had near scares. Both teams had dominating performances. I kind of feel like this is North Carolina State. Being it at home, I kind of feel like the Wolfpack is ready for the moment. Give me North Carolina State to win this. So I got really nothing more to add. So, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Ooh, man, that's a tough one for me to call. Part of me wants to go with Texas Tech, but then Fletch also makes a good point for North Carolina State. So after considerable thought, I actually got to go with NC State as well. So, they are at home, and I think this is their moment to shine. So, I got NC State winning. It's yours, Florida.
All right, and now we got 8 games left, guys, and we move on now to the 7:30 window. We got three 7:30 kickoffs to get into as we continue on here on this Week 3 edition of College Football Thursday. And we start off with the ABC Saturday night game of the week in the 7:30 window. Here's another sleeper matchup here, guys. The number 11 Michigan State Spartans on the road against the Washington Huskies at Husky Stadium in Seattle. Now, when you think ABC Saturday night game of the week, you're thinking Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit and company. No, they got a bigger game that they're going to be doing later. Instead, you're going to have Mark Jones, Robert Griffin III, and Quint Kessenich on the call. Washington opening up as a 3-point favorite. So, I think MF starts this one off, I believe. So MF, here's another sleeper matchup for you. Another Big Ten Pac-12 matchup here. After 2 easy games for Michigan State, now they got to go on the road at Washington on Saturday night. So MF number 11 Michigan State at Washington. First real test for Sparty this year. All right. Just waiting for MF here. Waiting for MF to to join us here, to get ready, I should say. So, but
I'll take it for a spin.
all right, Bullock. While we wait for MF to get situated, we got a tough one here. We got a nice sleeper matchup here. Number 11 Michigan State on the road at Washington on the ABC Saturday night game of the week with Mark Jones, Robert Griffin III, and Quint Kessenich, not Chris and Herbie.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, this is going to be the first true test for Michigan State. I mean, Michigan State thinks this is going to be an easy win, but I I don't see it happening. I think Washington is really going to give this team some fits, and especially since they are playing at home. I mean, man, I mean, this is a tough one for me, but like I said, I think Washington is definitely going to give Michigan State some fits here. I do have Michigan State winning this one barely. I'll say by a field goal. But if Washington does pull off the upset here, I would not be surprised. Yeah, I mean that's how I see it happening. I mean, but like I said, Michigan State wins, but if Washington wins, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. Under new head coach Kalen DeBoer and with transfer quarterback Michael Penix Jr., Washington has gotten out to an impressive start, averaging 571 yards and 48.5 points a game. Granted, it played Kent State and Portland State before an offense that eclipsed 31 points just once in 2021. Not too shabby. Michigan State has also looked solid against the MACs, Western Michigan and Akron, with a transfer tandem of Jalen Berger from Wisconsin and Jarek Broussard from Colorado, filling Kenneth Walker III's shoes. Is the Spartans secondary actually better than it was last season, though? Or do its early numbers just look good because of the competition? While at Indiana, Penix made 2 starts against MSU, throwing for 606 yards with 1 interception and accounting for 6 touchdowns. If he has a similar performance and Peyton Thorne tries to keep pace against the Huskies secondary, advantage Washington. I'm actually going to call for the upset here. I'm going to go with Washington to upset Michigan State. 31-27. Washington over Michigan State. MF, if you're ready, your thoughts on Michigan State and Washington. I got Washington pulling off the upset, 31-27. So MF, what says you? All right. I guess MF is still not ready yet. He must have stepped away for a moment. So, all right, MF, there you are. Number 11, Michigan State at Washington.
Tough game, very difficult to call, but I'm actually going to go with Michigan State here. I kind of feel like Washington hasn't really faced a really good team as of yet, even though Michigan State probably the same way. And I get why a lot of people thinking Washington's going to win. When you got 2 of the top receivers for Michigan State being out, but also Washington doesn't have one of their top receivers either going into this game. But I kind of feel like Michigan State is due. I think this is another one of those situations where their team is not getting the respect that they probably deserve to get. Even though I really believe now more than ever, this could go a number of ways. But I do believe Michigan State will figure out and get the win here. So I got Michigan State winning. So Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF. Gonna reshuffle the order here. I'll lead off on the next one here, as it will be the number 18 Florida Gators, once again at home at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida, hosting the Bulls of South Florida. This will be over on the SEC Network. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik on the call. Florida opening up as a 24-point favorite. I got Florida winning this one. Will Florida get the version of Anthony Richardson who ran all over Utah, or the one who threw 2 back-breaking interceptions and was limited to just 4 rushing yards against Kentucky? Well, considering Richardson went 3 for 3 for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, with 4 carries for 115 yards and another score last year against USF, and considering the Bulls allowed 50 points and more than 300 rushing yards in their season opener against BYU, I'm inclined to assume the former. So there isn't much more to say here. Easy win for Florida. Bounce back, get right win for Florida. 45-14. Florida all over South Florida. MF, this is a get right / back to basics game for Florida after they got their hearts ripped out by Kentucky last week.
Agreed, no doubt about it. I also got Florida as well. You kind of made all the points for me that I was about to make, so there's really nothing for me to say. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I got Florida winning this one as well. So yeah, nothing else to say. Let's move right along.
Okay, and we move on to our final 7:30 kickoff. The now number 23 Pittsburgh Panthers on the road against the Western Michigan Broncos from Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, Michigan. This game will be over on ESPN University. And on the call for that one will be Clay Matvick, Rocky Boyman, and Dawn Davenport. Pittsburgh opening up as a 10-point favorite. And I believe this goes to MF. So MF, number 23 Pittsburgh on the road at Western Michigan.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh. I kind of feel like they're due for one here. And, going up against Western Michigan, you never ever want to underestimate that. But I do believe that this will be this should be an easy win. So I got Pittsburgh winning, and they should win by at least 2 to 3 touchdowns. So nothing more to say, Anthony. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh winning this one as well. So it's yours, Florio.
This is a tough one here. I mean, it's tough to know what to make of Pitt this week with the health of Keaton Slovis up in the air. The Panthers quarterback suffered an injury late in the first half against Tennessee and did not return. Neither did the Pitt offense. If he's out for this trip to Kalamazoo, maybe Western Michigan will pull off the upset. The Broncos knocked off the Panthers 44-41 in Pittsburgh just last season, so it certainly wouldn't be unprecedented. With the quarterback wide receiver duo of Caleb Ellaby and Sky Moore no longer at their disposal, the Broncos haven't looked as potent on offense. Then again, the Panthers haven't exactly been unstoppable thus far. Sean Taylor and Ladarius Jefferson have a big day on the ground, and I think WMU can get it done. So, if Keaton Slovis is out, I got to go with Western Michigan to pull the upset. So, because of that, I'm going to take a chance and go with Western Michigan for the upset, 31-27. So not much more to say there. 5 games left, and we have 2 8 o'clock games to get into now. The now number 5 Clemson Tigers back at home at Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, Death Valley, hosting the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech over on the ACC Network. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, and Kelsey Riggs on the call. Clemson opening up as a 33-point favorite. Michael Bullock, easy win for Clemson, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy win for Clemson. So not going to waste any more time on this.
Yeah. Yeah, easy win for Clemson here, no doubt. In its season opener against Missouri, Louisiana Tech rushed for 8 yards while giving up 52 points and 558 yards. And Missouri isn't even good. It got smoked by Kansas State and probably won't even be a bowl team. So year 1 under Sonny Cumbie could be one of the worst in Bulldogs history. That should mean we see a fair amount of freshman Cade Klubnik at quarterback for Clemson, as he tries to do to DJ Uiagalelei what Trevor Lawrence did to Kelly Bryant in 2018. Easy win for Clemson, 56-13, all over Louisiana Tech. MF? Clemson all over Louisiana Tech. MF? All right. I guess I'll. Yes, MF.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was my turn.
It is Clemson at home against Louisiana Tech.
I gotta go with Clemson. I mean, there's really nothing much to talk about here. I feel like Clemson is just they're just a cream. This is one of the best teams in college. I mean, the look. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people kind of underestimated them because of the fact that they had a bad year last year. But I kind of feel like Clemson is due here. So I got Clemson. Anthony, go.
All right, the other 8 o'clock kickoff. The now number 21 Texas Longhorns at home back at home at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin, and they're going to be hosting the Roadrunners of the University of Texas San Antonio. This game will be over on the Longhorn Network. Lowell Galindo, Sam Acho, and Alex Chappelle will be on the call. Texas opening up as a 12.5 point favorite. Yeah, it's Texas. I mean, all right. Before we pick them to win comfortably, it's necessary to point out that UTSA quarterback Frank Harris is off to a remarkable start. He accounted for at least 389 yards as well as 3 touchdowns against Houston and Army. But if the Texas defense could limit Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young to 77 passing yards and 2 rushing yards through the first 48 minutes of last week's near upset of Bama, surely it can slow down Harris, right? Even if he has a decent night, the Longhorns offense, even with Hudson Card replacing the injured Quinn Ewers at quarterback, should have a field day against a defense that just allowed Army to rack up at least 215 passing yards, 304 actually, for the first time since 2007. I got Texas winning this one, 41-23, Texas over UTSA. MF, committee showing love for Texas. I mean, they got ranked despite coming up just short against Bama.
Yeah, and I think that was the right thing. I think that was the right decision because of the fact that they had Bama dead to rights. They had them. So I mean, you gotta give them the respect that they deserve. They earned it. It was just a heartbreaking end to the game. You know, they had the chance. They lost it at the end, a heartbreaking fashion. But you got to give Texas everything. You know, they basically did everything right, played literally the perfect game against Alabama, and came up a little short. So yeah, I mean, Bama was very humbled, and they're relieved. You know, they for once someone was their intellectual equal, as as an old saying from the legendary Win Ben Stein's Money. So I mean, give them $1,000, give them a bunch of a bunch of respect, and so yeah, there's really nothing more to add there. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think this was the right move to keep Texas ranked because it's not like they lost big time. I mean, yeah, they had Alabama dead to rights. I mean, they hung with them through the entire game. I mean, it was just that they just couldn't garner enough to finally to get over them. So I think this was the right call to definitely keep them ranked. But this will definitely be a nice bounce back win for Texas here. So I got the Longhorns winning this one. So it's yours for you.
All right, gentlemen, we got 3 games left, and we move on to the game of the week on our end, anyway. The number 13 Miami Hurricanes on the road against the number 24 Texas A&M Aggies from Kyle Field in College Station, Texas, on ESPN. This is where you're gonna find Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, and special guest Todd McShay. Todd McShay will be joining Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Holly Rowe. A&M opening up as a 6.5 point favorite. I believe this goes to MF. MF, the game of the week, the U, going up against Texas A&M. And I think all we can now say is and I bet you and Bullock as Michigan guys are saying to A&M, now you know how we felt when Appalachian State crushed our dreams in 2007.
Mm, Texas A&M took Appalachian State lightly, and got embarrassed in their own house. Yeah, we should have warned you, but you should have read the memo. You should have been warned not to mess with Appalachian State, and you didn't listen. So this team's not to be messed with, boys. You give them an opportunity, you give them an inch, they will take the mile. You should have known that, but now you're going up against the U, Miami University, the Hurricanes, and relatively speaking, the Hurricanes had two easy cupcakes. They had Bethune Cookman dominated that game. Southern Miss dominated that game. So you had those two teams right out of the gate. Now you got yourself a test because now you got Texas A&M. So obviously you want to get that. You want to get the game. It's not an easy matchup because of the fact that you're going to the Aggies, and the Aggies might be wounded. There's no doubt about it. They're a wounded animal right now. But the thing is, A&M at home at Kyle Field with that 12th man, that is a little bit of too much of a tall ask for Mario Cristobal and the U. Even though I want them to win, and I'm going to be a little biased here by saying that I want Miami to win, but I got to be professional. I got to use my analyst hat here. I think A&M bounces back and beats the U. Even though I want Miami to win this game. So I'm gonna make no bones about it. I want the Miami Hurricanes to win this game. But as an analyst, as a commentator, as a guy in the media, like we are, I gotta take emotion and I gotta take the fandom out of this. And I gotta be professional. My professional opinion, A&M wins. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, as much as I want to see the U win, but Texas A&M, they are back at home. They are they got the 12th man, and yeah, that's and obviously like you said, with the fact that they lost to Appalachian State, that's an extra motivator. So yeah, so I got Texas A&M winning this one. So it's yours, Floria.
If A&M were to win, I wouldn't at all be surprised. I wouldn't. But here's the thing, guys. Over the final 6 games last season, Miami's Tyler Van Dyke averaged 365.7 passing yards and 3.3 passing touchdowns. But I suspect the big question for most people heading into this game in College Station is whether the second-year starter is ready for this moment against this secondary. And I'm more curious to find out if Texas A&M can solve its rushing woes against what has been an excellent front seven. Devin Achane was great over the last 2 seasons as sort of the lightning to Isaiah Spiller's thunder, but can the sprinter handle the workload of a lead back? Will he find holes against the Hurricanes that he couldn't find against Sam Houston State? And will the offense fall flat on its face for a second straight week if he doesn't? I'm sorry, guys. I actually respectfully disagree with both of you. I'm actually going with Miami to win this game. My final score, 24-20. Miami over Texas Tech. 2 games left. 10 o'clock kickoff. The number 14 Utah Utes at home at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City, hosting the Aztecs of San Diego State. ESPN2 has the game. And on the call for that one will be Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, and Tiffany Blackman. Utah opening up as a 21-point favorite. So Michael Bullock, sounds like an easy win for Utah.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be an easy win for Utah. I mean, they are at home. I mean, yeah, this has definitely got the recipe for a victory for the Utes here. So I got Utah winning this one. So it's yours, Florio. Florio.
Oh, I forgot to unmute my mic. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Um, 1 year ago, this was a triple overtime showdown won by the Aztecs, who finished with just 248 yards. But that was the game in which Charlie Brewer lost Utah's quarterback job to Cameron Rising, as well as the game in which Tavion Thomas had just one carry. The Utes are much better now than they were in the first 3 quarters of that game, and a season-opening loss to Arizona suggests San Diego State may have gotten considerably worse. Unless Braxton Burmeister has been saving the game of his life for just this moment, Utah should cruise. Utah wins 35-14 over San Diego State. MF?
I agree. I'm going to go with the Utah Utes as well. I kind of feel like this is going to be an easy breeze for them as well. One game to go. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yep, and I'll start it off. The final game of the night, 10:30 kickoff on Fox. The now number 7 USC Trojans back at home at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, California, hosting the Bulldogs of Fresno State. Believe it or not, this is a Fox game, believe it or not, at this hour of the night. And Iron Eagle's son, Noah Eagle, is going to be on the call for this one. Noah Eagle with Mark Helfrich. USC opening up as an 11.5-point favorite. It's SC. I mean, after a brief run of FCS opponents, what a breath of fresh air this one is. Fresno State couldn't quite knock off Oregon State in a 35-32 thriller. While the Bulldogs did rack up nearly 500 yards against a respectable opponent, they should move the ball against a UFC defense that allowed 33 first downs to a not offensively elite Stanford. Can they avoid the turnovers that ruined the Cardinals' bid for an upset, though? Or more importantly, can Fresno State do anything to slow down the runaway freight train that is the USC offense? The Bulldogs had solid defensive numbers last season, but above-average offenses more or less had their way with them. Oregon scored 31, UCLA put up 37, Boise State got 40, Nevada scored 32, threw for 476 yards, and recorded 30 first downs. And after Fresno State allowed just under 400 yards to the Beavers, this looks like business as usual. Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison will continue their joint quest for the Heisman. USC outlasts Fresno State in this one. My final score, 45-31. USC outlasts Fresno State. MF.
I totally agree with that. I believe USC is going to win the game as well. I don't think there's going to be much more than that. So, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got USC winning this one as well. So, with that being said, Florio, let's put a bow on this edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday.
And that's exactly what we will do. So that will indeed put the bow on this Week 3 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. Tomorrow night at 11, we're going to be doing something a little different this week. Because I have an engagement on Saturday night, what we're going to do is tomorrow night, for this week only, we're going to put the Cerebral Smack Talk on the back burner. And instead, we're going to have a special Friday edition of NFL Saturday, as we will recap the Chargers-Chiefs Week 2 Thursday night game that went down tonight, and we will also address the remaining Week 2 games. And then from there, Monday we got Ridiculously Raw with Monday Night Raw, Tony's Take, Impact Wrestling, NXT Level Up. Tuesday we have, or I should say Wednesday rather, Wednesday Night Madness with MF, the new NXT along with AEW Dynamite. And then right back here next week for the Week 4 edition of College Football Thursday. And gentlemen, looking at the some of the games for next week, MF mentioned it. Clemson and Wake Forest. But wait, there's more. Not just Clemson and Wake, guys. How about Florida and Tennessee on the SEC on CBS? Arkansas going up against Texas A&M. Wisconsin against Ohio State. Those are just some of the exciting matchups to look forward to on this program next week. So until tomorrow night for our special Friday edition of NFL Saturday at 11 p.m., Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. And of course, the First Lady Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday, and until tomorrow night for the NFL Friday show, special NFL Friday show. You've been watching the Week 3 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio. So long. Bye, everybody. Bye.